UFC 270 is this Saturday night, January 22nd in Anaheim, California. And what a main event we have going down this Saturday night. We have Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship. What's going on, everybody? My name is David Hanson, and we are going to break down the main event of this fight for the UFC 270 this Saturday night. Wow, what a fight this is going to be. Two of the biggest, scariest looking heavyweights that the UFC has ever seen. Both of these guys look like they are just chiseled out of granite. And they're going to be fighting for the UFC heavyweight strap. The champion Francis Ngannou is going to be taking on the interim heavyweight champion Ciryl Gane, and we're going to go ahead and break it down right now. Francis Ngannou is the champion. He's 16-3. Ciryl Gane, the interim champion, he's 10-0. Francis Ngannou. Now this is probably one of the biggest stats of this fight. Average fight time for Francis Ngannou, 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Now, when you see the 5 minutes and 38 seconds, you say, wow, that's almost a round. Like, he literally, his average fight time is 1 round, just over 1 round. But you got to put it into perspective when you look at his record. Actually, let's go to his record right now, and let's take a look at it. Let's go all the way down here to let's go to his first fight. Round 1. Round 2. Wow. 1 minute and 22 seconds. Round 2. Round 1. Both of these guys, Alistair Overeem and Andrei Arlovski, former champions, knocked him out in less than 2 minutes. And then he got thrown up to the heavyweight championship of the world against Stipe Miocic. Fair. You just knocked out Andrei Arlovski and Alistair Overeem. Sure. You can fight for the heavyweight championship. But if you look at his record before that, he never went out of the second round. And Stipe Miocic showed him what was what. He dominated him for 5 rounds. Then, after that, Francis Ngannou had his second loss in the UFC against Derek Lewis in the most boring fight the UFC has probably ever had. Like, it was so boring. Like, if you go back and you look, let's look at this. Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Francis Ngannou threw 11 strikes in the whole fight. 11 strikes. Derek Lewis threw 20. Now this was the prime example of two guys that were just scared of the power of the other guy. Okay? Fair enough. Something needed to change. And boy, did it ever for Francis Ngannou. Ever since he took those 2 losses back-to-back against Stipe Miocic and Derek Lewis, that's right there. That is his average fight time. 5 minutes, 5-minute rounds against Stipe Miocic, and then 3 5-minute rounds against Derek Lewis. That's where all of his average fight time has been. And like I said, he threw 11 strikes in this fight. Let's go ahead and look back at, let's take a look back at the Stipe fight. Okay? He threw 21 strikes in the Stipe fight. The first Stipe fight. He threw 21 strikes. He threw 11 strikes in the Derek Lewis fight. Okay? That's not a lot of time. Okay, now that's a lot of time that he was in the octagon, but he wasn't really learning much in there. He was learning how to get taken down, how to get his face smashed in by Stipe, and then he learned how to stand there against Derek Lewis and then just try to avoid big punches for 15 minutes. Okay? He went up against Curtis Blades, knocked him out in 45 seconds. Okay? Now, back up against another former champion, Cain Velasquez, 26 seconds. All right, cool. Let's throw you in with another champion, Junior Dos Santos, 1 minute and 11 seconds. Now they took him and they put him back in with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, which was probably his toughest test on this run that he was on after his losing streak. And he went out there and knocked him out in 20 seconds. Like, just caution to the wind, just right hand, right hand until the left hook connected, and just put the lights out. And then in March of 2021, he won the heavyweight championship of the world when he knocked out Stipe Miocic in round number 2. 52 seconds into round 2. So that's barely into the second round. And so this right here, this 5-fight win streak that he's on from November of 2018 till now, 3.5, 4 years, and he's had, let's just round up, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes of in octagon time. That's one of the most alarming things about this fight. That and the cardio. Now, if Francis can pace himself very much, now the Stipe Miocic fight was the best showing for Francis Ngannou. He was patient. He stuffed the takedowns. He sprawled. It was almost kind of like that movie Happy Gilmore, the Adam Sandler movie Happy Gilmore, when he goes, "Uh-oh, Happy learned how to putt." It's kind of like that situation right there, where Stipe picked the leg up and tried to go for the single leg takedown, and Francis grabbed the head and sprawled out. And I was sitting there looking at the screen saying, uh-oh, Francis learned how to wrestle. That was the turning point in that fight, when Francis sprawled out, transitioned to the back of Stipe Miocic, and started raining in punches. That was the changing of the tide in that fight. Now, going up against Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is 10-0, undefeated. He has an average fight time of 15 minutes and 6 seconds. And this guy is probably the most technical, elusive heavyweight that we've ever seen in the heavyweight division. He's got an 81-inch reach. He's got a 2-inch reach disadvantage from Francis Ngannou. It's going to be very interesting to see what these guys come in on the scale. Now, Francis Ngannou, it says 250 pounds. I would be willing to bet that he's going to be somewhere around the heavyweight limit when he weighs in. I could be wrong. But I would like to think that he's going to have a little bit of a weight. There's going to be a little bit of a difference in weight once they get on the scale. I think Francis is going to definitely be the heavier fighter on the scale. Now, Francis does have the 2-inch reach advantage. They're both 6'4". But the big numbers right here. Strikes landed per minute, 2.54 for Francis Ngannou at a 41% accuracy rate. Strikes absorbed per minute, 2.04. And he's got a 45% defense on striking. Now, he does get hit. But normally when people get close to him, he knocks their head off. But when you look at the numbers of Ciryl Gane, he likes to bounce. He moves like a welterweight or a lightweight. I don't know what you would want to classify it as, but he's always on his toes. He's never really flat-footed. He has a strike landed per minute at 5.37. He's got almost a 3-point advantage, like discrepancy in strikes landed per minute over strikes absorbed per minute. He is a very technical, accurate striker. 57% accuracy, 62% defense in striking. He doesn't get hit. He hits and he doesn't get hit, and that is the name of the game. And another big number right here is 100% takedown defense. He's never been taken down. Now, granted, he's never fought a wrestler, so we don't know how he would do against a Curtis Blades, or I would be willing to think that he would probably point fight with Stipe. I don't know if he fought Stipe. I don't know if he's going to fight Stipe, but I don't know if Stipe would try the method of trying to take Ciryl Gane down. But nonetheless, he still has a 100% takedown defense. He's never been taken down, and he's never even really been hurt. If you go back and look at his fights, let's take a look at his record right here. He's 10-0. He was 3-0 when he signed with the UFC. He was 3-0, undefeated. He has a Muay Thai record. He undefeated in Muay Thai, kickboxing, but and he's also undefeated in MMA. And he has shown a vast variety of skill set. Now, if you look at the first fights, he fought Rafael Pessoa. He submitted him with an arm triangle choke. He did a heel hook on Dontel Mays. And then he had a unanimous decision over Tanner Boser. Now, Tanner Boser is another one of them heavyweights that likes to bounce. He likes to stay on the end of the punches, hit, not get hit. He likes to bounce around and kind of use the octagon, make use of the space in the octagon. He TKO'd Junior Dos Santos in round number 2. It was like a elbow, Jairzinho Rosenstrike. He just kind of pieced him apart for 5 rounds. Alexander Volkov. Now, I went back and I watched this fight earlier today. And one of the things that I think is going to be key in this fight for Francis Ngannou is kicking the legs. I think if Francis Ngannou uses leg kicks for a form of offense, I think that's going to do well in his favor. If you go and you watch the Alexander Volkov fight, it seemed like he was having a little bit of issues with the leg kicks. Now, Volkov was able to land some leg kicks, kind of throw Gane off balance just a little bit. And Francis Ngannou is much bigger, much more powerful than Alexander Volkov. And if Francis Ngannou were to land one of those leg kicks and throw Ciryl Gane off balance, it would be a lot easier for Francis Ngannou to be able to close the distance and use those heavy hands. Will he be able to do it? That is the big question. Now, if you look here at Ciryl Gane's record, his last win was probably the most impressive win. Derek Lewis having the record currently for the most knockouts in UFC history. So, if anybody knows how to knock someone out, it's this man, Derek Lewis, right here. But Ciryl Gane went in there and made it look easy. Like, he makes it look easy in all of his fights. Is he going to be able to avoid the big power from Francis Ngannou? This is very interesting. There's a lot of interesting things in this fight. The backstory with them training together back at MMA Factory. The backstory with the coach situation with Francis Ngannou, his former coach being Ciryl Gane's current coach. It's a very, very interesting situation. The contract situation with Francis Ngannou. it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm extremely excited to see how this fight is going to play out. I am going to lean towards Ciryl Gane. I think that his fight IQ is going to be too much for Francis Ngannou. Even though I try not to lean in too heavily onto it, I think that all of the pressure, the contract pressure, all of the pressure on Francis Ngannou, I think it's going to weigh a little bit on him. He doesn't seem in the media and everything, like you got to take all of that with a grain of salt. You can't really determine things off of what you see at press conferences, what you see in the media, what you see in interviews like that. You really just got to wait and focus on the fight on Saturday night and see what happens then. But unless Francis Ngannou lands that one shot, and it only takes one. It really does. It only takes one. We've seen it we've seen it in all of his other fights. Like I showed you the record, he's only gone past the second round twice. Twice, ever. And those were both losses. So, if you're banking on Francis Ngannou to land that one punch, which could very well happen, it's everything. It's a heavyweight fight. But I think that Ciryl Gane is going to be able to not get hit, and I think he's going to be able to hurt him. Ciryl Gane's got a very good jab. I think Ciryl Gane's going to be too fast for Francis Ngannou, and I think he's going to get it done. I think it's going to be new heavyweight champion of the world, Ciryl Gane. But we will have to see what happens on Saturday night. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Like and subscribe. Check out my channel. Follow D Hanson MMA on Twitter, Instagram, and I will be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thanks for watching.